Well, hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lisa, aka Yoyarngirl, and it has been a hot minute, folks, since I have been here. Today is Saturday, August 24th. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I normally do not film this late, but it's been a hot minute and I wanted to get something out. I've just been busy. I was sick off and on for about 3 weeks. All is good. And so each time I went to go and podcast, either I was super busy with meetings from at work, or I just wasn't feeling my greatest and just couldn't get the energy up to just get everything together to film, because it is kind of a production and I'm not super organized sometimes, so I have stuff all over the house. Just ask my husband, he'll tell you. Anyways, the different places that you can find me, I'm over here on YouTube as Yoyarngirl. I'm over on Ravelry as Yoyarngirl67, and I am on Instagram as Yo_Yarngirl. I am probably most active on Insta, but I'm on Ravelry a lot as well. I don't do a lot in the groups right now because there's nothing going on, but you can find me all at those places. And then I do have an email for the podcast, which is yoyarngirl@gmail.com. And yes, I'm probably going to be out of practice. We'll be drinking. I have a little bit of a sore throat, just some water, actually, ice water with some lemon and honey. So this is it's a traditional podcast. You know, I do my finished objects, works in progress, dream knitting, life stuff, you know, normal podcast format. However, before I get started, I kind of wanted to just say hello and welcome to all of my new subscribers. I have had a few new subscribers, and that is a huge shout out to Christy of Christy Archer Designs. She featured some podcasts that are kind of either she likes to watch, but also some up and coming as myself. So I'm super excited. I have had some traffic since she did give me a shout out. So thank you, Christy, and thank you to all of those that have come by and just either checked out a episode or have subscribed. I hope that you are liking what you are seeing and that you will continue to watch my content. I'm hoping to be back here on a more regular basis, so thank you. And I'm hoping within the next, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, we will be at 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at like 865 right now. So please, if you like what you see, thumbs up, like it, subscribe, and forward my name on to somebody that really likes the yarny goodness, as you yourself do. So today I don't have a finished object. I have some half-finished objects, but I'm really featuring today is getting the best fit from your sweaters. I have attempted, 3 or 4 sweaters since I have been knitting. I primarily do a lot of socks, scarves, hats, things like that, but I have tried some sweaters, and I just find I'm not getting a really good fit. So ironically, Devin of Knitty McPurly had an episode on where she was featuring, I think this week may be the last episode, she was featuring a sweater and the fit, and I was trying to do the same thing. I actually went back to an old resource from when I first started knitting back in 2012, 2013-ish. I was in the process of relocating from Indiana to Florida, and I'm a self-taught knitter. So I started looking at all the resources, and a resource that I had come across at that time was Craftsy. And Craftsy, for those of you that have been around and know Craftsy, went through a name change and then came back to Craftsy. And it went to Blueprint. Actually, I think right before I moved to Colorado, because they're based here in Colorado, or they were, as Craftsy. Marley Bird was a big contributor or teacher on Craftsy. And so, sorry, rambled. But anyways, Devin was featuring Getting Good Fits. And she happened to feature a book, which I actually have, from one of the designers or teachers, instructors, I guess, instructor would be a better word, off of Craftsy that I started following to try to figure out why I'm knitting these sweaters, but not, like, once I'm done, I'm not really able to wear them. Either they're too tight in the chest, they're really tight on my neck, I don't like the arm fit, and I have not dibbled and dabbled with fit and modifications. Amy Herzog, the instructor from Craftsy, is become my really, really good friend. And I am following her with all of the different classes that she offers on Craftsy, which is primarily sweater. I think it's all sweater knitting, whether it's fit. There's a couple of the Fit to Flatter, which is the book that I'll be showing you in a minute. She has a couple of other classes on there. But I am right now venturing to knit 3 different sweaters. I'm going to knit a colorwork sweater. I'm knitting a sweater in pieces that I will put together. I'm following Amy Herzog for that one. And then I am going to knit a sweater in the round. And I'll talk more about all of that after I show some stuff, but I just wanted to kind of bring that out there. But for those of you that may be learning, or you are even seasoned knitters and you're looking to maybe up your game or learn a new technique, Craftsy has, oh my goodness, so many different classes, and it's just got a wealth of stuff. I've also picked up sewing, and I'm learning off of Craftsy. So I have they've got a lot of self-drafting patterns on there. I self-drafted a skirt pattern, which I'll show you. It's not completely done, but almost. So without further ado, let's just get started after that ramble. Okay, hopefully this lighting won't be horrible. And I do have my fan on because it's really warm in here. I'm in the spare bedroom today. And so hopefully you'll be able to hear. But I'm just going to go ahead and get into my whips and get going. So the first whip that's been on my needles for a little bit of time is my Dartmoor sweater by Kadri. And I have bound off on the bottom for this, and I will be starting the sleeves. I am so loving this. So loving this sweater. Cannot wait to cuddle up in this with the cooler weather coming. Right now it's super hot today, which is why I have on no knitwear. But yeah, I'm super excited to get this one finished. So I've got the V-neck to pick up and the sleeves, but I think I can probably get this done in the next few weeks. So probably not the next podcast, but maybe after that I will have that done. So that is my Dartmoor sweater by Ozetta, I'm sorry. And I am knitting this out of Lion Brand's Fisherman Wool. Love that yarn. It's 100% wool. And I'm holding it with a mohair that I got off of Etsy that, again, really like the mohair. Very good quality. I don't remember the name. I'll try and put up where I bought it. If not, I'll link it below. But yeah, I am holding that with the Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool. It's in a brown, and really like this sweater. I actually cannot wait to put something similar on the needles with that mohair, different color, and that Lion Brand yarn, different color. So, but I do like that yarn. It's a really affordable yarn, and it really wears well. It feels good on the skin. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I would check out, if you're looking for a sweater's quantity of yarn, this is a really nice, affordable yarn to check out. So there you have it. The next work in progress is a sock. And I had finished one of these socks last year, actually, maybe even 2 years. I think it was last year during Sock Week that Knitty Natty hosts each year. And I had finished one sock and had not finished the other one during that week. So I just picked this up and I'm trying to get this one finished. But this is the finished sock. Hopefully it's... And this was a colorway from that Sock Week that year. And this is the second one. So I'm on the foot. And I'm going to draw a blank on the name of that pattern. I want to say it's maybe Petty Harbor, or I think it's Petty Harbor. Let's see. I've got Ravelry up here, but I won't spend too much time trying to look for it. If I find it, I'll mention it, and if not, I'll put it across the screen. So, but that's those socks there, and really enjoying it. It's a pretty easy to memorize. I think it's a 4-row repeat if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, pretty easy to memorize. I'm doing this on 9-inch circulars. Yes, it's called the Petty Harbor Socks by Royno Curtis, maybe. And yeah, it's a 4-row repeat, and it's a free pattern actually on Ravelry. So it's fun and it's easy, and I should have these done by the next podcast. So first sock whip. My next sock whip is, again, it's just a vanilla sock, and this is done on 9-inch circulars following Kay of the Crazy Sock Ladies pattern. This is in a Patton's Croy. I want to say this is like marl brown is the colorway. So this is one sock that's finished. The last time I showed this sock, I think I was probably just beyond the heel. I'd just done the heel turn, and so I finished the foot on this one, and I have now started on the second one, and I am on the heel. So I am knitting the heel, flap and gusset, and again on 9-inch circular. I love this yarn actually. It's a really nice hardy yarn. Love the color. And so hope to have these done. I was hoping to try, I have like 3 or 4 sock whips, and I was hoping to try and have them all done with the end of sock camp, summer sock camp. I don't know if I will, but maybe. We've got another, 6 or 7 days. So I will try and maybe get those done, and they'll be done for the next podcast because I don't have much to do. So if I just sit down and get it done, I can. And then I'd cast on another sock right before I had gone on vacation, and I finished one, and I have not cast on the second sock, but this is again just a sock that I did on Magic Loop following Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. These are counting, this is she has it over on one of her podcasts, but it's just every 10 rows you're placing a marker, and it just makes it easy to go back and measure. You just know that every 10 rows you have a marker. So I have been using that technique and really like that. These are just some random, it was a color from my stash. I want to say the maroon it's a Emma's yarn, I believe is the yarn, and it's called Heavy Pour. This gold is just a random mini that I had. This is a random mini this one might be from A Girl in Her Wool. And then this one is this one I know is from A Girl in Her Wool, and for the heel. And I did a shadow wrap heel from Denise of Earth Tones Girls. So I kind of mix and match my socks up. But yes, this is a shadow wrap heel that I did on this one. Let's see, there we go. It's a little bit better. So yeah, really like that, and I'll get the other one on the needles probably this week. This one I'm not committing to having done with the end of summer sock camp, and I just decided this year I love doing summer sock camp. I've done it I think every year that Kay has had it, or Kayla as she is going by now, her true name, Kayla. But I just wasn't into the whole sock knitting thing this summer. I would I always have socks on the needles, but I am so into sweater and garment knitting right now that I haven't put a lot of socks, or I'm not spending a lot of time on my socks or sock whips. So, but I do want to try to get most of my whips done as we go into the fall, and then I'll think about what I'm gonna put on the needles for socks going into the fall and the winter. But yeah, so I think that is all of my sock whips. And then I have, of course, because in Lisa Fashion, I cast on, I always squirrel. So I started down the whole sweater rabbit hole. And in between that, I wanted something to just take some time and, I could knit on. So outside of my scrappy blanket, because I have been working on my scrappy blanket again, I'm not going to show it today, but I have been working on it. I decided to cast on a shrug. This is the Saturday Shrug. I want to say it's by Jackie Rhodes, maybe? Jackie? So, yeah. Love, 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 love this color. And it's a fade. It's not self-striping. It's more of a fade. This is also Lion brand Scarfy, maybe? It's Scarfy. It's a bulky weight yarn. And just love the way the color is kind of pulling, and it's I guess you would call that pulling, not striping. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pulling or fading. And so I am really enjoying this. The person that gave me the idea for this is Ivana from the Republic of Me, and I'll talk a little bit more about her later as well. But she's been knitting these shrugs, and these make really nice gifts. So I decided to put one on the needles. I'm gonna see how I like it, and if I do, I will probably put some more on the needle as maybe some gifts for Christmas time. It makes a quick, fun knit. And it's bulky weight yarn, so it should knit up fairly quickly. And yeah, it's just one of those when I need something to do with my hands and I don't have the headspace to be thinking about other things, I can just go to this and can knit on this. So, and I don't have the colorway. I don't remember what the colorway is, but this will all be linked on my Ravelry page. I had not put this in as a project, but I think I may have just done it, or if not, I will after I film here, and it'll have all the details for that. But this again is a free pattern, and it's the Saturday Shrug. So there we go. All right, I have one more knitting whip, and then I will just go into some plans and stuff I'm doing. I went down the rabbit hole of a Rhinebeck sweater. I probably will not attend Rhinebeck. Initially, I thought maybe I would attend for just like a Saturday and come back Sunday. So I would just be there for Saturday at I guess it's the fairgrounds or the hall, wherever they do it. I've never been. I've been wanting to go. But I decided even if I don't go, I am going to have my own Rhinebeck party, even if it's just me alone. So I wanted to be able to wear a Rhinebeck sweater. So I cast on Andrea Mowry's Framed, and I absolutely love it. So let's hope I can get this in the camera and it doesn't blow out. But I am absolutely loving this. And I'm using all yarn from my stash. So if you've been watching from the beginning of the year, that was kind of my, and I won't say it was a goal because it's not, because I'm buying yarn, trust me, you'll see. But I had kind of said I was going to use yarn from my stash, if at all possible, on projects. And so this is all yarn from my stash. I'm using Lion Brand Woolies is the cream color. The purple is, I think this is Good Wool. It is by Pearl Soho. It lists as like a worsted, then it says DK. It's definitely not it's not a heavy worsted. It's definitely not a worsted. So I'm holding two strands together, two different kind of purpley colors. But it actually kind of, doing that, it kind of looks similar to the yarn that Andrea calls for, and I'm trying to think of the name of that, and I won't be able to, so I'll have to put that across the screen. I don't really want to edit, so some of this stuff may be linked below because I'm not trying to do a ton of editing. I want to get this up. And then this brown on the bottom is a Peyton's. It's Peyton's, and it's Peyton's wool. It's a worsted weight. So I will also there's a project page on my Ravelry, so you'll be able to go and see all the different yarns that I have. But yeah, I'm really liking this. I'm almost through the first pattern repeat, and then I'll be able to go and do the next one. But yeah, again, it's not super hard. It's charted, and I'm really liking the colorwork charts. And I know everyone likes to show floats. I don't know if you're interested. I don't know that my floats are that great. I'm definitely not a colorwork knitter by any means, but I'm trying. So this is also on my just learning to fit my sweaters to me and the skin that I'm in. I did do some really good measurements for this one as well. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. So I'm hoping that it turns out really well and I'll be able to cozy up on it for Rhinebeck weekend. So that is my framed sweater by Andrea Mowry. So I think that is it for sweater whips, other than the sweater whip and sweaters that I'm going to talk about. Before I do that, I'm going to take a quick sip of my water that I have in my knitting Yoyarngirl knitting juice cup that I got off Etsy. So I guess I'm going to show my work in progress, my sewing, and then I'll go into the details on all of the sweaters and the good fits and all that stuff. So as I told you, I went to Craftsy to really get some sewing tips and look at a class possibly to take. And I'll have to link this particular class below because I don't remember the name of it offhand. But this is just an A-line skirt that has a zipper, so I learned how to put a zipper in, and I did fairly well. I probably am going to take it out because I want it to be a little bit closer on the side. It's not horrible, and I could live with it actually the way it is, but I might take it out. And then I did put a band in here that I haven't tacked down yet, but it's just an A-line skirt. And I'll try and pop a picture in at some point just to give you a full view of it. But I'm absolutely loving this skirt. I'm loving the sewing. I'm also working on a blouse. So yeah, and thank you for all of those that gave me any tips either here or over on Instagram for the sewing piece. But I am loving possibly having a me-made wardrobe with sweaters and skirts and pants to go into the fall. So I've got some really great plans for sewing for the fall, so I'm hoping that I'm able to show them on here. I had said before I wasn't going to show my sewing a lot, but some of you expressed the interest and said you wouldn't mind seeing it, so I will just keep showing it until somebody says, hey, we don't want to see that, we just want to see knitting. And that's okay too, so I can show my sewing over on Insta. But I really like this skirt. Super simple. So I did my measurements. I drafted the pattern up on just some tracing paper, and then I cut this out, and then it was just really simple as sewing it up. So during that same week, my husband had a shirt that he wanted cut off and hemmed, and so I was able to do that for him as well. Definitely a work in progress. It was a knit, and I'm not that great. I mean, I've sewn before, but I'm not by any means someone that sews. My mom was a great sewer or sewist, and so she made a lot of our clothes. So I mean, I have an idea of what sewing's about, but we did not sit down at a sewing machine growing up to learn to sew. My mom would show us, you know, as she was sewing, but we did not actually sit down to take instruction. So once again, I will be a self-taught sewer, but so far I'm really enjoying this. And once again, it's another hobby rabbit hole, buy lots of fabric. I'm trying not to do that, but yeah, you could really go down that hole. But there's some great fabric out there, and I love the idea of being able to make a garment based on my specific measurements. There was a time where I never that was not important to me. It's important to me now, and I like having things that fit me the way I want them to fit me. So yes, I'm truly loving the idea of me-made clothing. So, and I like doing it. It's an enjoyable hobby. It relaxes me, and there's things I'm sure that I'll find with sewing, just like I did with knitting, that I'm like, ooh, I'm not really interested in learning that technique right now. Intarsia is one with knitting that I'm just not interested in at this point, but who knows, maybe one day I will be. So, but this is my self-drafted A-line skirt, and I love it. So thank you to all of you that encouraged me to take on the sewing, because I was hesitant, and I'm so glad that I did, because I'm enjoying that. So let's move into talking about the best fit sweaters. So as I said, I went to Craftsy when I started thinking about, hey, I really want to think about modifications. I want to get a better fit. I just want sweat. If I'm spending the time and I'm spending the money on the yarn, I want the sweaters to fit me so that I can wear them. And I did bring one in here. And I can wear this, but I don't love it. I have not sewn in the ends, so I've worn it once without these. I just tucked them in. This is, oh my goodness, I'm gonna draw a blank. It's by Espace Tricot. I will maybe put it up top, or it'll be linked below. But this is the sweater. Love the yarn. This was a West Yorkshire spinner yarn that I got years ago. It's been in my stash. I still have more. I'm gonna make a vest. I'm gonna make it's a vest by Petite Knit. I'm gonna make that vest out of what I have left in my stash. Right now I am not gonna pull this sweater out, but I might pull this out and re-knit this, because I realized what the problem was, and it was my measurements. I used the wrong measurements, and I'll go a little bit more into that. But this sweater is one that I really love the construction of it, and I can't really wear it because it's too tight. I don't like the way it fits me when I lift up my arms. It's really tight here on the collar, and then of course it just, to me, it doesn't do anything for the girls. So I don't wear it very often. I have knit a couple of vests that I did really well with. So anyways, going back to why I went to Craftsy is I was really trying to figure out where am I going wrong? What's happening that these sweaters are not fitting me? I want sweaters that fit me so that I can wear. I am definitely a product knitter, not a process. I want the product to wear, which is kind of funny because I don't I don't go out and say, oh, I made this. And when people say, oh, that's cute, I don't necessarily say I made it, but I love wearing it. And I guess it's because I know that I made it. And I'm not embarrassed to share that I made it, but I just don't do a lot of that. But anyways, I decided to follow her class, Simple Techniques for a Super Fit with Amy Herzog. And that was the class that I was following. When I saw Knitty McPurly's episode that talked about her book, Fit to Flatter, I'm like, why do I know that? And of course I went back to Craftsy, and she has a class, Fit to Flatter, on Craftsy. So if you happen to have the book and you're not, you can use both, you can couple it. So here is the book. It's called Knit to Flatter. It's got a lot of patterns in it. I don't know if that's blowing out, but you see there's tons of patterns. And she's got 3 models here on the back that she goes through their measurements and goes through different techniques to make adjustments and do things like that. So the nice thing about Craftsy is so it's a subscription, and you can, you get all these classes. So you can also, I think, watch some of these classes without the subscription. I've always had a subscription, so I enjoy the subscription. It's worth the money for me. And as a matter of fact, I have an affiliate link down below. So if you'd like to go over to Craftsy and subscribe, please use my affiliate link below. It doesn't cost you anything, but yeah, I would be super excited to have you use that link. And anyways, so I started to go through the book, and there's a lot of stuff in here that I like. I think Devin had mentioned that she didn't go into a lot of detail in the book, so she didn't get a ton of stuff out of the modifications. But what I found is with this book, I have another book by Amy Herzog that I've had again for years. And then the classes on Craftsy, I am learning so much. So I have never, in knitting a sweater, have I taken my measurements on my high bust. People have talked about it, but I've just always said, okay, well, I'm going to go pick my size. And I pick my size and I knit it. Well, I realized after watching these videos on Craftsy, these classes on Craftsy with Amy Herzog, even though I was looking at my, what I thought was my bra size, I was looking at my band. So I'm picking the size of this and not my full bust. Well, of course, I'm not going to have a sweater. Occasionally it lucks out because I have a couple that have worked out, but I wasn't doing that. So I'm picking a size that clearly is not going to give me what I need for my full bust. So it's going to fit me tight. And boy, it was like a light bulb went off. Like, how have I missed this all this time? Like, how have I missed this? So, but yeah, it doesn't even matter. I'm happy I found out why my sweaters are not fitting. But in addition to that, Amy has opened up my eyes to so many different things about fit, about yarn, about the needles that you're using and all of that, which I, in my mind, thought I knew. Like, I was like, Lisa, you know that. Like, adjust your needle size, you know, go up to a bigger size. That's not always the answer. And my proportions probably are, they're odd, but I love me. And so I'm now actually measuring and picking yarns based on my measurements versus picking yarns because I like the yarn. And, you know, it's not that I won't use a yarn that I like, but it's making me so much more mindful about picking a yarn and a pattern that are going to work for me, possibly with some modifications, and how to do those modifications. Now, I'm not feeling super overwhelmed and anxious about possibly doing some modifications because I have those videos that I can go to, those classes that I can refer back to, and it's just, this is making, my knitting is becoming so much more pleasurable because I feel like I'm gonna knit something and get that product and I'm gonna be wearing it the minute I'm done and not, oh, I'm trying to stretch it here, stretch it there. When I block it, it's just going to, I can do an easy block, but it's gonna fit me. So if you have experienced what and you know, maybe I'm the only one that's experiencing this, that your sweaters aren't fitting, your, you know, whatever it is, I would really, really encourage you to go and check out some of these classes. And you don't have to check out Craftsy. I mean, there's a fit for everybody. I've also looked at some YouTube, you know, classes that, you know, there's folks out there that feature, you know, knitting a sweater in 10 days or knitting a sweater. And I also follow them. But these classes have just made so much sense for me. And I'm just super excited to be able to knit this. So I'm doing a cardigan and I'll show you, I have cast on. I just cast on. But it's called the Drop Shoulder Cardi or Pullover, so you can do either one, but it's by Amy Herzog. And again, the pattern is linked to that class. So if you are following the class, you can go down and get the pattern and the notes and all that other stuff. She has a schematic where you can put your measurements into that schematic. This sweater is done in pieces. So I think I've got I'm not gonna show the schematic that has stuff on it, the measurements, but she gives you an empty schematic so that you can put your, oh, sorry, this is blowing out big time. You're not gonna be able to see it, maybe. So this is the back of the sweater. There you go. There we go. So she has that for you to go and add your measurements. You can add your modifications or anything like that. So this, again, really, really thrilled to have this and just, you know, get through this sweater. And I'm going to take you through that process. So as I'm knitting it, I'm hoping to do some filming and then I'll bring that to you in a later episode once I'm, like at the end and I've knit all the different pieces and I've shown you the different pieces that I've knit. Then I will I'll put that video together, and it'll be something that I attach into a podcast. So let me show you the one that I'm doing. And I decided it's a DK weight sweater. And I decided, because I got gauge, that I wanted to hold some mohair. I'm just really into mohair right now. So I have some mohair that I'm holding with a sport weight, and I'm using Wool of the Andes sport weight by Knit Picks. Is it gonna focus? Is it gonna focus? Don't focus on me. There we go. There we go. So Wool of the Andes sport weight, and it's in oyster heather, and I'm holding it with a mohair that I got from Etsy, and it's a shop out of Wyoming. I think it's called Blackbird Song. I'll try and put it up top. If not, it'll be linked below. But I love the color, first of all, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to enjoy knitting this in pieces and that I learn a lot from it and I get a really good fit. So my whole, let me just show this to you and then I love the fabric that this is producing. The reason that I'm doing 3 different sweaters, and one's going to be a color where it's going to be a yoke. This is a raglan. This is a set-in sleeve. I'm sorry. This is a set-in sleeve, drop shoulder set-in sleeve, which I didn't really understand all that, but I've been going back through and trying to watch and rewatch. But this is a set-in sleeve, she says. The reason I'm doing the 3 different sweaters is I'm trying to see what gives me the best fit. And in some of the books that I'm reading, and in some of the other, because I also am watching a class on, I have a knit along that, again, oh, sorry, my camera stopped for some reason. Don't know why. Anyways, I was talking about the Craftsy classes and a knit along, which is Bristol Ivy's class. It was a knit along for a colorwork sweater. It's a steek. So not sure I'm going to do that, but she also has said that knitting in pieces, sometimes you get a better fit. So I wanted to try a sweater knit in pieces. I'm going to do a sweater knit in the round, and I'll tell you which one that is. I'm doing 2 that are knit in the round, and then I'm going to be doing the colorwork. And the 2 that are knit in the round, one is the In and Out Raglan by Ivana from Republic of Me. She offers that actually over on her website. It's basically, it's just numbers, and you put your numbers in, and then you're able to knit a sweater. She's featuring that right now on a couple of her podcasts because she's knitting one in this beautiful red. I think it's out of Cascade Sock, maybe, Heritage, and she's holding it with a lace weight. Anyways, I love that sweater. She's knit multiples of those. And it's a turtleneck or a mock neck. You can do either one, but I'm going to use that for knitting in the round to see, once I've put in my measurements, how that fits me. We'll see how the pieces and putting that together fits. And so far, I'm really liking this. I enjoy the knit. I enjoy the yarn. I'm enjoying everything about this. So I'm going to see how that fits, and then I'm also going to do a Felix, and that's a raglan. So I will do the Felix also knit in the round with better measurements because I have a Felix cardigan. Don't love the fit, but I do wear it around the house, but I don't love the fit of that. I'm thinking about ripping that back and maybe re-knitting it because I love the pattern. I just don't like the fit of the sweater, but I do like the sweater. So I am going to knit the Felix pullover out of this Let Lopey. I think it's, Let Lopey, which is an Aran, worsted Aran. I think it's more of like an Aran, but this is my color. And I've actually featured this, I've shown this yarn on here before. Let's see if it, there we go. Love this color. And this is a little bit rustic. don't know how it's going to do on my skin. I'm a little sensitive, but I can always put like a little cami or something under is what I'm thinking I'll probably do. My arms aren't as bad as my neck and chest would be, so I'm going to try it, but I'm going to do the Felix pullover out of the Let Lopi, and that will be another sweater that you will get to see me knitting over time. So as I knit it, I will take some footage and talk about it and talk about fit and go from there. But I'm super excited about being able to knit all these sweaters and show you and bring you the process, and even more excited to have sweaters in my wardrobe that I can pull out and wear all winter long. So excited about that part. So yeah, if you are interested in, joining me to knit any of these sweaters, let me know. I'd love to have somebody join me with the Craftsy cardigan or the pullover, and again, go through the process and just really get a really good fitting garment. Comment below, let me know. I would love to have you join me, or if you want to join doing the Felix pullover, and that may even be better for you. If you're interested in doing a knit along with the Felix pullover, link it below, let me know, or the In and Out raglan. Either one of those, the Felix pullover, In and Out raglan, or if you're interested in joining me with that class and going through the class with Amy Herzog, let me know. And I would be happy to, have a little group, and I can put something together over on Ravelry where we can chat in there and share our photos. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of knit-alongs, there's a lot of fall stuff going on, and I'll be joining some of those with the sweaters that I'm knitting, but I want to be able to bring that process to all of you as I'm knitting them. So yeah, just super excited about that. So as I'm doing this, because I have started to order a little bit more yarn for some of these, I do have some yarn in my stash, but I also now have an affiliate link for Knit Picks. So I use a lot of their yarn anyways, and so I do have, and that will be linked below. So if you're again looking for sweaters quantity of yarn, there's an affiliate link for the Knit Picks. But I do like the Knit Picks yarn, and I have both the worsted and the sport weight, and that's the sport weight yarn that I'm using for my sweater that I'm doing, the Amy Herzog sweater. And yeah, I just probably shouldn't have been casting anything on yet, but I did, and I love it. I love it. So anyways, I'm so glad that I was able to finally get something recorded, and hopefully I'll get this up later on this evening for you guys, and you'll be able to follow along with me. But yeah, please comment below. Thank you for being patient while I was just busy and wasn't able to get anything posted, but I really, really appreciate your patience. And I promise I'm going to get better about doing an every 2-week podcast like I had been doing before. And hopefully I'll have lots of content on my sweaters to bring you. I'll have some sewing that I can show you as we go into the fall and winter. And yeah, other than that, life guys, I haven't really had, there's not a ton of life stuff. I did subscribe to the Summerly, I think it's called Colorwork Cuffs. Yeah, Colorwork Cuff Club. So this is August. I haven't cast that on yet, but I hope to get that cast on soon. And so I'm looking forward to that and making some Colorwork cuffs for my sock knitting. And then just really busy with work. David and I did take a trip to the Sonoma Napa area. It was wonderful. We're looking forward to going back. We did a really nice wine pairing while we were there, and just did a little bit of drive up the Pacific Coast Highway, which was really nice and relaxing, and it was just really, really enjoyable. So I think that is it from me, and I can't wait to come back and see you next time. Until then, folks, happy making.